What's going on, folk? In this video, I'm gonna tell you what it's like to own a lot of cars. You heard? So stick around, check it out, and after the intro, you already know.
DJ. The tables turned. Reel it back one time. Okay. Tony touch.
It's so tremendous.
Tony Todd. Yo, I be the mic smoker.
All right, folk, let me tell you something here. We're gonna bring up a few key points, right? There's the idea of having a lot of cars. There's the reality of having a lot of cars. You know what I mean? There's, the cost of having a lot of cars. There's the maintenance of having a lot of cars. And there's like the priority of having a lot of cars. You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot of different key things of, yeah, you get the idea, right? They're just different key points. Different vehicles also have different purposes. So let's just start with like my S13, for example, right? This car's purpose, looks sick, drives sick, but I drive it every once in a while. It's not a daily driver, so, it doesn't have to be perfect and crazy and all this other shit. For example, my truck. It's stock minus my wheels, and I do have a tune on it, which doesn't do much. It's a gas truck, but that vehicle, much different than the S13, right? That's a big dog. That thing is only driven for towing shit, right? So like my wife's 350Z, sort of like this car, it gets driven for drifting purposes and whenever my wife feels like driving it. So that's kind of like, and we got the manager back. Buddy, you're supposed to be doing things today, but I didn't see you doing them, so. But yeah, that's kind of where we're going with some of those things, right? Different cars, different purposes, you know what I mean? My Civic, this car's purpose is to be a daily driver because it has AC, a badass motor, which is over there, and it's meant to be a fun car to drive, and I want to also drive this car around the corners. So this car's purpose is daily driver. I have a lot of daily drivers, but like the S13 could be a daily driver if the AC got fixed, right? Which is probably a little bit more complicated than it needs to be. My Civic, on the other hand, this car, daily driver, it's fun, it's not fast, it's good on gas, it's a hatchback so you can fit stuff in there, and it looks sick, cool, right? My lowrider was a daily driver for probably about a year and a half or so. I gave it probably a solid year. This car is actually all original except for the wheels, and I lowered the back. So, another daily driver scenario. Oh man, what is going on down there? So yeah, got a lot of different things here. Now, if you made it this far in the video, you're probably wondering, okay, well, how many cars do you have? I currently own 20 cars, and that doesn't mean they all run, that's just how many I have, right? And I include 4 of those vehicles in my wife's cars, and I include them because I gotta maintenance them. I drive them around probably more than she does on average, just because I always gotta fix them, always gotta do something to them, right? I still include those cars. So me personally, I own 16, she owns 4, there's 20, boom, right? So with that being said, let's talk about maintenance for vehicles. Every vehicle is not gonna get the same type of maintenance that another vehicle gets, right? So the Z, it's a drift car. The maintenance this thing gets, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Is it weak? Sure. Well, when it breaks, that's when you fix it, right? A daily driver car is a car you would be a little more proactive on. I mean, I try to be proactive on all my vehicles, but when you have a lot, expense comes into a large play. So if the Z, I got a bad shifter bushing in the Z, it's gonna stay bad for a while versus, I have a bad shifter bushing in the Civic. Why? Because the Civic you drive every single day. The Z gets driven a few times a year in comparison, you know what I mean? So that's also like the levels of how important each car is. Now, all my cars are obviously all important to me, right? But some cars hold a higher value. My R32 holds a huge value to me because I like that car a lot. But at the same time, right now, if I blew up the transmission and it doing a burnout, I'm gonna just go, oh, looks like it's got a bad transmission. You know what I'm saying? So, and it probably won't get fixed for a year. You know what I mean? Because that car is really not priority and it's not high on my list, right? I love it, but it's very low on my list of, you know, taking my finances. Other cars, if I blew up the transmission in the S13, I promise you, I'm getting another one ASAP. You know what I mean? Because like, this car isn't far from being a complete driver and rocking, you know what I mean? Different kind of shit, right? So let's talk about some other things too, right? I have in my fleet 11 vehicles with tags on them. Now, in Florida, you just pay your tag every year, and that's what it is. Some tags do cost more than others. My truck is the price of, I think, 2 or 3 plates. Because here in Florida, when you have a heavier vehicle, I forget if it's a 2500 or when you hit 3500 series vehicles, but at a certain weight class, once you've hit that, you have a special plate for it, and it costs you way more, which kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. So the truck is the price of a few of my vehicles, but the truck also has a different purpose than the rest of my vehicles. It's meant to go pick shit up, tow my shit somewhere, tow somebody else's shit somewhere that broke, you know what I mean? So it has its purpose, its whole thing. So it costs a lot to drive it, costs a lot to insure it, costs a lot to register it. She's an expensive girl. And she doesn't get driven very much because, well, everything costs a lot on it, right? My wife's Z is cheap because you have like the minimum coverage plus theft, and then it's just like it's a drift car for her, right? If she crashes it, it's gonna come out of my pocket, right? Whereas like my silver R35, that car is full coverage across the board. So if I split that car in half, I'm gonna get paid for it, right? Because let's be realistic here. An S13, a Z, a Civic, a fucking Lincoln Town Car, all these 90s old ass cars are a lot cheaper than that 2000s fucking car over there, you know what I mean? So that goes back to levels and priorities. In every category, the cars will shift, right? All the cars that have plates on them have essentially Florida's minimum plus theft. So that way, you know, if they get stolen, you know, you'll get your money, of course. Because to be honest, at this point, when you have so many vehicles, they are an investment, right? Especially when you put money, time, effort, you know, paint, motors, suspension, wheels, like all this shit, everything costs money. So you have to also know, hey, is this car really worth me putting really good insurance on? Well, to be honest, most of these cars, not really. You know what I mean? 350Z, perfect example, right? This car here, if this thing breaks, who fucking cares? You can buy 10 more of those, right? My truck, same thing. You can buy 10 more of those. Well, it's an expensive vehicle to break, but regardless, you can still get them cheap relatively, right? My silver R35, the thing's expensive. This car, it is a drift car. Still a street car, but it's a drift car. So with that, I have like a hybrid between like full coverage and minimum somewhere. I forget exactly, because I've been insured for a long time. And that car, it's just, I have everything on the cheaper side because I expect this car to, you know, get damages like I got at OSW, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that. So this car pretty much, if I fuck it up, I'm just gonna cover it, whatever. My silver 35, you know, this car was already a pile of shit when I got it to start with. The silver 35 is not a pile of shit, you know what I mean? So it's very, very different categories here, you know what I mean? So, and uses are also very different. The silver car fires up, runs, drives, and its goal is to just get me from here to there. When I wanna get frisky, I punch it, bitch rips, you know what I'm saying, boom. The black one, it's my drift car. Well, it's one of my drift cars. It's a street car first, drift car second. And that car, it's gonna be it's gonna get damaged, it's gonna get trashed. So when you have a hot car like this, you don't wanna raise your insurance rates to whatever the hell you're gonna do, because you're gonna beat it up and fuck it up on purpose, you know what I mean? So that's why that car has got certain coverages, you know, everything's got its own coverage. And we talk about price for a lot of this stuff, right? Because 11 plates every year, let's just say each plate's $50, which some plates are cheaper, some plates are more depending on the vehicle. I don't know why, it just is what it is. But like my Civic is like, I think like $35 a year. But then I think my Silver 35, I think is 80. I think it's 80, yeah, something like that. It's still cheap in the grand scheme of things, especially for you guys watching that have those state inspections and shit. You guys like, man, like, oh, it's so cheap, like, oh, I love that, you know what I'm saying? Y'all, trust me, I feel you. This is also why I also haven't moved out of Florida, because we're still living, you know, good like that, you know what I'm saying? So my truck though, my truck's the price of like 3 plates because it's really expensive. But with all being said, let's just call each plate $50 times 11 every year, you know, that shit adds up, right? Boom. So let's talk about maintenance real quick. Maintenance is a big talking point, and obviously if you have daily driver cars, they should be maintained better. I mean, you should be maintaining all your cars the best you can, period, right? But again, you have categories for, hey, is it really worth me spending a shitload of my money maintaining this car to the utmost versus this car, right? And the answer is pretty simple, no. This car gets an oil change once a year. Once a year, it's not enough, right? But I don't drive it that much anymore, but it used to be my daily driver. Even when it was my daily, I knew, hey, I'm gonna put really good oil in it and a really good filter, and I'm gonna drive it more than I should, right? And replace the oil once a year, which is not good for that car, right? But that's that car's level, right? That car doesn't need for me to put the best full synthetic oil with the best everything. I mean, I think I have synthetic oil in it, probably do, because I want it to like last longer, but my Silver 35, the oil gets changed in that car several times a year, whether I drive it or not. You know what I mean? So it's like the motor in that car is like 10 to 15 grand for a long block, worth maintaining. You know what I mean? My truck, I'll be real, it's just a 6-liter. It gets an oil change when it needs it. You know what I mean? I just go by the miles in that truck. I'm like, oh, hit the miles, fuck it, change the oil. Which is about once a year in that thing, because I don't drive it very much, you know what I mean? But when you start thinking about it, the more cars you have that work, everything's going and going and going and going. The more cars, you know, they say more money, more problems. Cars is like that, right? So like maintenance, let's just say this car needs brakes, that one needs an oil change, that one needs brakes, oil change. Let's just call this one a battery. Let's just say that car needs a wheel bearing. Let's just say this one needs control arms because they're bent. And you see what I'm saying? Like little things all of a sudden add up a lot, right? Battery, okay, not expensive. Brakes, not expensive. Control arms can be cheap, but you get the idea, right? You go from having, oh yeah, just a battery, oh, some brakes, you know, rotors and pads, to, oh, rotors and pads, oil change, this. You go from having to spend like $150 to like $850 really fast. So when you own a lot of cars, you own a lot of maintenance, you know what I mean? You own a lot of problems coming. If you have a daily driver, it's good. I've always liked having a daily driver to have an extra daily driver per se. I know they say like, oh, you know, you need a daily for the daily, but I'm kind of a believer in that, because no matter what, I can't daily nothing regular, because like, let's be realistic here. If you like cars and you fuck with them, you're not gonna wanna sit there and go, oh, yeah, let me just go ahead and just drive this Toyota Corolla around all day. You know, would you rather drive a Toyota Corolla or this? You see what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. If you're picking up what I'm putting down, talk about it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, a lot of the cars are daily drivers. They can all be daily driven. Everything for the most part has AC except for like my S13, but I like when all cars work like normal. But again, the closer you can have your cars to being dailyable, the better. Now, if you have like a dedicated drift car where it's fully caged, it's super loud, it's not street legal, even if it is street legal, whatever, but it's like a fully built race car type shit, pain in the ass to drive, it serves kind of one purpose of just get it, you know what I'm saying? A car like that, that's gonna be a whole different ball game, you know what I mean, versus like street cars, you know what I mean? So by having 2 dailies is better than having 1, you know what I mean? So I don't know, I'm kind of ranting a little bit. I'm trying not to rant. Like I said, I am sick. I'm walking around, got a lot of talking points in my head, but I'm trying to figure out how to get there, you know what I'm saying? But maintenance, everything, it'll get you. And the thing that used to upset me the most is, for me, when it comes to having multiple cars that all work, a lot of times when it rains, it pours. Out of nowhere, oh man, I fucking popped a tire on one car. Okay, drive the other one. And as you're driving the other one, the fucking, the wheel bearing dies. You go, sick, that's 2 cars down, like that. It'll be all in the same week too. And it's never at a convenient time of like, oh, I just got paid today, all my bills are paid anyways, this is my good paycheck, boom, whatever. It's never like that. It's always, oh fuck, it's 2 more weeks before I get paid, I'm fucking broke, this thing's fucking broken, this thing's fucking broken. And then you go, okay, well I have this car, but it's been overheating lately, you know what I'm saying? And then like you've been driving that to work and you've been overheating on the way to work and overheating on your way back home, you know what I'm saying? So that's more of the reality of having a lot of cars. Now, if you have a lot of cars up to date, up to maintenance, all that kind of stuff, it makes it less stressful, you know what I mean? So especially when you're, you're out there trying to get frisky, dog, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, having a reliable daily is the most important thing ever, but having 2 is better, you know what I mean? But it doesn't mean you have to drive a boring fucking car, you know what I mean? You can drive cool shit. My wife, she's been driving her Supra. That car is a 2021 with over 100,000 miles on it. She drives that car everywhere, you know what I mean? So it's absolutely wild, to be honest with you. But she drives that car and, here we are, boom, right? So that's like her primary vehicle. So like all the effort, money, and focus, time mainly goes into that car. The drift car, her Z, if it breaks, it's not exactly priority. Let's just say we bend up a tie rod and the fucking needs lug nuts, I don't know, something dumb, right? Yeah, well, it's relatively cheap. To be real, probably not gonna touch it for several months. Oh yeah, gotta fix the Z. Put that on the back burner. Save up a couple bucks between now and fucking 4 months from now. And then like, yeah, got some money going, boom, fix that up, whatever. Or it's usually, hey, we have an event coming up next month. What do we need? Oh shit, need tires, need a tie rod, need this, need that. Okay, boom, right? That's usually how that goes. But different things, you know what I'm saying? Maintaining daily drivers is a big thing, but when you have multiple cars, you're gonna have multiple problems. It's always something, oh, the gas tank fucking went bad in this car, the fuel pump went bad in this car, the fuel line, you know what I mean? Like, especially when they sit, you go and you don't put that treatment shit in your gas tank, you're gonna have some fun ass problems. You're gonna lose some expensive ass fuel pumps. You're gonna lose, gas lines. You're gonna lose a lot of shit because of that, you know what I mean? Batteries, those are gold when you have a lot of cars, because guess what? They're gonna all die because you don't drive all your cars enough, you know what I mean? You should unplug them. Me, I ride the Lightning all the time. That's why this car's dead. To drive that car right now, I need to buy the battery because I've already killed 2 of them, because I just don't bother unplugging them. I know it sounds dumb, but that's just what it is. So everything ain't always what it seems, dog, you know what I mean? Plus, if you wanna make all these different cars sick, it does cost money, but not, again, there's levels to it. How sick? Oh, like for example, the S13, I want some sick paint for that car. It's really fucking expensive. But for this car right here, I want to paint it too, but I don't want to paint it like that car. You know what I mean? My R32, same thing. I want some really expensive paint for this car, but I don't want the same kind of paint like I want for my Civic. And it's not because it's a Civic or because it's an R32, it's because the category and classification of what the vehicle is and stands for, in its priorities, right? This Civic, I want simple shit for it. Badass motor, nice transmission, close to stock, lightly modified, good suspension, car looks good, has AC, drives good, boom, we're rocking, right? The S13, the R32, you want them more spicy. You don't want them unreliable, but like you're willing to push that envelope a little bit further, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those things, again, in every category you have for these cars, it's gonna change too, right? Priority, oh, daily driver, okay, well, if we're in the daily driver category, like my Civic is the fucking top of the list. It is good on gas, fun to drive, it's a hatchback, right? So it's like, okay, I can go pick up parts in that car. Well, I can go pick up parts in my S13, I can pick up parts in the Z, this car, yeah, I can pick up parts in all these cars too, but none of those cars are gonna get the gas mileage the Civic gets, because the Civic gets close to 30 miles to the gallon, you know what I mean? Can I pick up parts in my truck? Sure, 10 miles to the gallon, really high expensive to drive. Better be fucking worth whatever you're getting, you know what I mean? So, like I'm saying, it's hard to, I mean, let's just look real here. That's a Z, that's another town car, that's the truck. On the other side of this wall, there's there's a Silverado and a Chevy SSR on that side. You know what I mean? There's a lot of vehicles. So everything's different. The truck, yeah, we have two trucks. I have the dually, big boy, and I got the fucking Silverado, the little regular single cab short bed, and the brake lines and calipers throughout this thing, right? So it just sits right there, and it's been like that for a month and a half. Because why? It's not priority, you know what I mean? Also, I'm gonna put all new calipers, all new lines on it, because the front calipers are already feeling kind of funny. So it's like, I think there's nothing that's sticking anyways. So I might as well just refresh the whole fucking system. Well, to refresh the whole system, it costs a lot. You know what costs more than that? The paint for my S13. The S13 paint is kind of more priority for me than that is right now, right? If I haven't need a truck, I've got one, you know what I mean? So here we go, back to the fucking level again, right? The little truck is great because it doesn't get the best gas mileage because it is a V6, unfortunately, but at the same time, it also, how do I put it? It's good for picking up like the stuff this car can't quite pick up, but I also don't need that much truck full. You know what I mean? So everything, yeah, just crazy out here. So I'm gonna give it to you how I run things. Now, like I said, priority list for different categories. Basically, what I've been telling you this whole time is kind of how I run the show for myself. You will get when you have multiple cars, multiple projects like the S13 or Civic that are in states like the S13 state right now is major body work and then it'll be slick, but then you need major AC work afterwards, right? The Civic technically doesn't need body work to not paint that car, but like this Civic's, these two cars are my top priority cars right now because the S13 is close and it's fucking sick and I want to drive it all the time. It's like the hot air for that. But the Civic also is important because it's the car I drive the most. Out of all the cars I have, that car gets driven the most. So, with that being said, I have the motor for it right here. If you've been watching the channel, you will know that I've been putting this motor together. It's a GSR JDM GSR motor. Cool, right? Brand new oil pump, water pump, tensioner, timing belt. I have all brand new seals, all brand new gaskets on this motor. And this thing is getting a full refresh before it goes back in the car because it's easy to do maintenance while it's in the stand now than it is, oh, I need a rear main seal later. Well, that sucks. You're paying attention. Doing a rear main, paying attention. For some guys, they don't care. Oh man, I'll pull 10 transmissions today. Me? That ain't me, you know what I'm saying? So this shape, this aspect, I have to reseal it and redo everything now before it goes back in. Because I don't want to do it again, especially when it's out here where everything you could ever do. You know what I mean? It's like imagine having like to rebuild the head inside the car. That would suck. Versus on the engine stand. Well, that's a lot easier, right? So there you go. If let's just say my lowrider here, right? Let's just say this car, it's time to, I gotta put a motor in it, right? I'm not gonna do that same shit for the motor for this. It's gonna get a front main, a rear main, maybe oil pan gasket, might do a timing chain and a tensioner, that's it. You know what I mean? If it needs valve cover gaskets and fucking intake gaskets and any of that bullshit, that'll be later, you know what I mean? Not the same type of shit, because the purpose for this vehicle is not the same as the Civic, right? Civic is a much more important vehicle, especially in its category. So it just, just one of those things, right? So I think daily drivers, again, are important, but I can't drive nothing regular. I gotta drive cool shit, because like, that's why we get into cars, because cars are fucking cool. You wanna drive cool shit. So I'm not knocking the guy that's got that Toyota Corolla, that Camry, I think Camry's pretty tight, to be honest. But like, you got a Corolla, you got a Camry, you know what I'm saying? You got something like that. And I'm gonna keep it real. Man, put some coilovers on it, throw some wheels on it, make sure your alignment is damn good. Don't go over the top, and then just rock it like that. Make it look tight. So that way, every time you get in the car, you're like, yeah, I can fuck with this thing, you know what I mean? Even if the Camry is not like your ideal vehicle, your daily driver is still a cool fucking car. You know what I mean? Oh, yo, it was a car show tonight. Oh man, car show tonight, but both my other two cars are down. You can still pull up in your daily driver and go, yeah, I think I could pull up in this car and I feel good about it. You know what I mean? So it's things like that, you know what I mean? But yeah, in the category of things, like everything is priority and what level of priority for each category you put your car into, you know what I mean? For me, daily driver cars are top category, because hey, if a brake caliper goes out, yeah, I can drive a different car. Hopefully it doesn't go bad too, because you know how cars go. It's usually if it's one, then it's the next one, it's the next one, and you got 3 dead cars, and you start over with fucking 3 good cars. It happens to me all the time. Usually one car goes down, I'm like, I'm gonna drive this one, and that car goes down, I'm like, I'm gonna drive this one, and that car goes down. You went from having like no problems to a fuckload of problems, and it goes from being like maybe $200 to like $1,200. You're just like, cool. You know what I mean? Then it goes back to priority, which car needs to be back on the road first. Also with that, sometimes it's about the finances, right? Well, if I need a tire, if all I needed for this car was a tire, that's easy and fast, right? And usually tires are generally cheap, depending on what you're buying, okay, whatever. So like, okay, even if it's not your daily driver, but you can daily it, fuck that. But let's just say a tire mounted balance installed after you bought it, all the bullshit's done. Let's just call it $180 for one tire, right? But you need to buy brakes for the other car for $250. $180 beats $250. So you could rock the $180 joint, whip that for a minute, and then you can rock that until it gets $250 up, boom, and you knock that out next, you know what I mean? Credit cards are helpful, of course, in these aspects, you know what I mean? And again, sometimes like you get a wild hair up your ass, and like, honestly, that's what happened to me and got me motivated to get my R32 back together and running, is the car sat for 10 years, and I'm, for years I've been hearing, oh, when are you gonna get that car back going? When are you gonna get it going? And the truth is, I was so overwhelmed with the car, not only like financially, because I knew where I wanted it to go, but like mentally, because like I know where I want the car to be. And I'm like, man, I don't know, because like I want to build it, but at the same time, it comes down to reality of, for the price I'm going to spend the money in that car, I could build 2 more other cars completely. You know what I mean? So the question is, do you want to spend the same money to have one car? I get it. One car, or do you want to have the same money and have 2 badass cars? Shit, I have that car and I have 2 more now? Well, see what I'm saying? Plus, I've already had this car for so long that it's just like I have it, you know what I mean? It's one of those things. Also, something when you have a lot of cars, you have to think about where you're gonna put them, you know what I mean? So I used to live, it was like 2 houses ago, my neighbor who happened to be my roommate's uncle, well, uncle, you know what I'm saying, whatever. And you know, we was mad cool, and the valley between our houses joined together. Yo, me and this guy's shit looked like a straight car lot in the neighborhood because we had so many fucking cars at the house. I had my cars, my wife's cars, my roommate's cars, fucking neighbor had his cars, like we had a lot of shit. And with that being said, you need a place to put them, right? So if you don't have the real estate, then it's hard to buy cars. Now, another thing too is, you know, you have to think about this aspect. I currently live in a place where I can store multiple vehicles, right? If I want to have 50 cars here, I can fit 50 cars here. I don't want 50 cars. Sometimes having limited space prioritizes the vehicles you want. There's the idea of, oh yeah, I would love to have an FDRX7, right? Yeah, that car's sick as fuck, but the reality of it is, would I want to own one of those cars and drive it all the time? Probably not. They're sick, but I'm a tall guy, and I don't think those interiors are big enough for me to be comfortable, right? So like, and then not to mention, you know, it's a rotary, it's this, it's that. So there's like the reality of owning some of these cars. So by test driving other vehicles and driving friends' cars and stuff like this, you also get a feel for, hey, I really like this car. Hey, this car is not exactly what I thought it was gonna be. You know, a lot of guys that get Subaru WRX STIs thinking they're gonna be fast, dog, and they get pulled up on by a stock G37 sedan automatic. I'm just gonna put that out there, dog, best watch out, you know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those things where the idea like, oh, I'm gonna have this cool car, but then like, it sometimes could crush your soul. You get smacked up by something else, and you're just like, yo, are you fucking kidding me? You know what I mean? So, and then like, you know, everyone likes their cars for different reasons. People like Miatas because they handle really well, or they just really want to work hard at drifting, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, right? So, different cars, different strokes, different folks. You don't have to have 50 fucking cars to be satisfied. And then there's the other thing too. You have multiple cars. What is the, how do you put it? What is the quality of the cars, right? So sure, I got 20 cars right now, but 20 cars, they're not all worth shit, you know what I mean? Again, the truck back here, the parts car Z, the other Lincoln, this is like 3,500 bucks in junk. See what I'm saying? Like, it's not a lot of money, you know what I mean? Like, those are junk. So do you want to own a lot of cars like a junkyard? Or do you want to own a lot of cars in the same sense that Adam LZ owns a lot of cars? A lot of nice cars. It's got a 2-car lift. So like a lot of cars, whatever. Stuff like that. But keep this in mind too. If you live like say an apartment complex and you have 1 car slot available, and maybe you're lucky and at that place you have a garage available. Daily driver outside, project car inside, right? If you go to pick up another project car, well, where are you gonna keep it? At your buddy's house, at your mom's house, or in a storage lot, right? I'll tell you like this, the reason why I don't mind owning a bunch of cars is because I have a place to keep them. Even when I had, when I lived in my last house, I was maxed out capacity. I maxed out the garage space, I maxed out I utilized everything. I used guest bedrooms to store car parts in. I used spare rooms in the house to store car parts. And I mean wall to wall. You know what I'm saying? That's how I filled up my 40-foot container. You know what I'm saying? Shit, to be real, store parts in the house too, just because like some parts you need to keep inside versus outside, you know what I mean? So it's like, there's like the reality of having all this shit. Is your wife, if you're married and shit, is your wife gonna be cool with the guest bedroom, fucking slap full of car parts wall to wall? Mine is, because mine's the shit, right? But the reality of it is, most people, nah, ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? I also live a little bit different than most people. But I also don't want a junkyard of cars, but at the same time, I don't mind a junkyard of cars. I don't mind if I had a couple cars sitting in the field not looking like shit, you know what I mean? Because in here undercover, this is primarily what I'm talking about, you know what I mean? So there's just tons of aspects to this shit, you know what I mean? And there's a lot of things people don't think about. Because I have a large land space, whatever you want to call it, if I own a lot of cars, it's okay because it costs me the same amount of money to have the cars here as not having them here. Does that make sense? So if I had to store each of these cars at a friend's house and give them like 20 bucks, 50 bucks a month, or at a storage container and pay that 200 bucks a month, now that car costs you constant money that isn't even anything other than storage. At that point, yeah, dial back. Unless it's a car you gotta fucking have and you know, like, and I ain't gonna tell you how to live. Let's just say you live in an apartment complex and you got the car, you got your daily driver, you got one slot, and you go, man, I have this car, I fucking love this car, but it's gonna take me 2 fucking years to build it, and I have to put it in a storage lot, right? So if you gotta do that, you gotta mentally understand that every month you're gonna pay that storage lot money just to keep that car there. And then there's the other aspect. If you still live in the apartment when your car's done, where are you gonna keep it afterwards? Storage lot still? Or you wanna keep it at your place where you live? See what I'm saying? So it's like, sometimes your living situation is also gonna play a part in how many vehicles you can own. I like to stretch things to the fucking max because I guess I'm wild like that, I guess. I don't know what my problem is, but I just max shit out constantly, and then I find other ways to max out again. You know what I mean? And there's times where I try to clean it up. Like to be fair, I have that Civic for sale, I have the Tahoe we have for sale. It's not here on the property right now. You know what I'm saying? I have those 2 cars for sale, the Chevy SSRs for sale. I have the Lincoln Town Car parts for sale. You know what I mean? Once the engine and transmission come out of that truck, then I'll put that truck for sale. And you know, I'll move a few things on because realistically, I don't need that truck, but also at the same time, part of the reason I chose that truck benefits me double, right? It was cheap to buy. I want the engine and transmission for this car here under the tarp, and then also it's the same year as that truck there. So it shares control arms, they share the same engine and transmission, wiring harness, fuel tank. I think the fuel tank's the same. And what I mean is like size-wise. So, oh, it's starting to rain, sick. All right. I'm gonna go in the garage here where it's gonna be quieter because it gets loud inside the shop. So, it's just one of those things, right? You gotta play to your strengths while you got them. If you go, hey, I'm living in an apartment complex for the next 2 years, this car doesn't have to get done in 2 years, boom, right? Or you get it done right before you move into your house, you got a 2-car garage for your house, all right, cool, you know what I'm saying? So there's always different kinds of things. It ain't easy being cheesy, I can tell you that right now. You're looking at somebody that's done a lot with very little, and man, I'm fucking making car payments and maxing out credit cards and, you know, buying, selling, trading constantly to get the things that I have now, you know what I mean? And sometimes you get lucky and sometimes things just shoot up in value and sometimes you don't get lucky, you know what I mean? So, you know, sometimes you get something for a good price and then you can trade it for something better, you know what I mean? There's a lot of different things you can do, but we ain't here for that. We're here for all this, you know what I mean? So yeah, things to keep in mind about owning a lot of cars. Do you want to own a lot of cars in the junkyard just to say you have a lot of cars? If that's you, that's you. I've known people like that. They're like, yeah, man, I got fucking like 40 cars. And I'm like, damn, like, what you doing with these shits? And they're just like, oh, I got them, right? It's like, okay, cool. Or you can end up like that guy. What's that show on Netflix with the fucking white guy from Canada, the fucking dreads, the old white guy. He's like 67 years old. He's got dreadlocks and he's out there just building cars because he can. And he's got like 200 fucking classic cars, you know what I'm saying? You could be like that guy, but it's a slippery slope because that guy's got so many fucking cars that he ain't got time left in his life to build them all. You know what I'm saying? Things to keep in mind and keep a lookout for too. But we ain't talking about that guy. We're talking about real life right here, right now. Boom. So I don't know. The reality of having a lot of cars is it costs you a lot. Even if it's a little bit, it still costs you a lot. if I had 10 Honda Civics, if they all 10 cars needed oil changes for 60 bucks each, do the math, a lot. See what I'm saying? All of a sudden, boom, it's a lot of money, right? So just, you know, if you're considering, I mean, not like it's like a life option, like, oh, well, if you're considering buying, it's not like buying a house, not like considering buying a home. No, if you're thinking about the idea of owning a lot of cars, hey, there's some motivated, hustling motherfuckers out there, and you know who you are. Sometimes you know who you are, sometimes you don't, right? I'm gonna tell you like this, if you want it, you can fucking go and you can get it, I promise you, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, you can have a lot of cars if you want, but just know it comes with stuff, you know what I mean? As you'll know, some cars are priority, some cars aren't, and every year that car goes, oh, I'm gonna do something with that car this year, and you pass 2-3 years, start thinking about moving it on. Unless you love that car and you gotta have it, but the longer cars sit, they degrade more and more and more like that, you know what I mean? Which really sucks. So just keep those things in mind sometimes, you know what I mean? But it's a little bit different video. I've been sick all week, and you know, to be fair, there's a lot of other things going on behind the scenes. I started doing a little bit of tear down with some of my shit over here, and yeah, man, I don't know. Life getting a little bit crazy. Next week we'll have some shit popping. I shouldn't be sick next week, hopefully, right? Because, you know, sometimes you get sick, it's rough as fuck for a while. But we're gonna be doing some more shit. Yeah, I got some more shit coming up, man. I'm trying to give you more like enthusiasticness, but I'm like fucking tired even though I haven't done anything today. So like, you know, that's how life is sometimes, right? So if you guys have any questions or anything, put them in the comments. You know, I check my shit all the time. More than happy to fucking message you or hit you back in the comments. That way you can, you know, understand some more things, you know what I'm saying? Boom, right? So just keep in mind, different cars, different purposes, different things, you know what I mean? So that's why I won't, like my truck, that's why I won't body drop and just fucking slam it, because that's my only truck, that's my big truck. I don't want, if it was like I had 2 of those, yeah, I'd slam and body drop one of them, but that's the primary guy, so it gets left alone the most. It's like the most stock vehicle I own. Wheels and a tune, you see what I'm saying? So like, just think about things like that for different vehicles, you know? So yeah, I don't know, hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. I know I talk a lot, walk a lot, you know what I'm saying, boom, whatever, but somebody that holds a lot of stuff, sometimes I don't even realize it myself, but I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of shit here, you know what I mean? So I hope you stick around, check out some more videos in the future, and if anything, you can go back and look at some of my other videos doing cool shit, right? So hopefully you like this video, man, you know what I'm saying? But just remember always, in life, stay sucker free. You heard me?